All right, we're going to go. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Retro and Rare podcast, episode for a whimsical Wednesday. Are you familiar with what whimsical means?
It's like a smart funny thing, right?
Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. No, you got a little fucking attitude today, and I don't like it. Now, Doyle, go ahead and give the people the idea for the show that you think is just this godly idea, and you want all the credit in the world, and you're mad at me because I won't give you credit for something that's bullshit. Go ahead.
Damn, that was a good way to sum it up. All right, so I came up with the poll where, I wanted to do Maximum Carnage, Super Nintendo versus Sega Genesis. And then you're like, no.
Because it's stupid. It's not a groundbreaking idea, and nobody gives a fuck. Number one, just on that topic alone, it's widely known Super Nintendo has a way better version than Sega Genesis of Maximum Carnage. Am I right? The sprites meaning the characters in the game are way bigger and more well-defined. I think the audio's better, Super Nintendo. I'm a Genesis guy. But, and go ahead. Go run over there and don't knock anything over. Go grab that stupid Carnage thing that you want me to put over here.
Okay.
You call it a trinket. Put it over here.
Trinket of the day?
Yeah. We're exposing your dumb ideas today. Let's go. While he's doing that, he's back already. It was in here the whole time, so you ran out of the room. Here we go. Give me this fucking thing. So you want me to put, now tell me where, this is your show now. Where do you want me to put this?
Right there in the little podcast spot.
Right
there.
Here?
Yeah, no,
right
a little bit more further. Just
right there?
In case he falls. Yeah, right there.
Right there, okay.
That's Trinket of the Day.
Dramatic change of the show. I have to say, I already feel it, and I'd like to give you credit for that idea.
I can feel the likes and comments already.
You know what? And I would like everybody to go in the comments section below, and I want you to give this kid some encouragement, because he's like a wounded little baby deer that needs some encouragement. You know, it's David the Gnome vibes. Remember that? Remember I put you on to David the Gnome and that final episode? If you guys have never seen David the Gnome, it's an old 80s cartoon. Very sad final episode. Sketchy shit. Anyway, welcome to fucking episode 6. We start the show with all kinds of fuckery every single time and didn't fail this time. So we're going over a bunch of topics. I put a request out for topic suggestions, and this was the most we've ever got. Right? I text you, dude, you got to see. There's a million suggestions in there. We didn't really comb through them, but you use it to your discretion because this is your show now, Doyle. So you go ahead and you let me know what topic we would like to start with.
All right, favorite Halloween theme games.
Like horror games because it's Halloween. Because there's well, first of all, is there a Halloween like Michael Myers video game? Am I bugging?
I think it's custom.
What does that mean, custom?
Homebrew.
A homebrew. Okay. I've never seen an official one, but Halloween, we spoke about this briefly last episode. I love this time of the year. I mean, horror games are one of my favorite genres of games to begin with, but Silent Hill, Resident Evil, what other horror games are great this time of year? I mean, it's kind of obvious.
Clock Tower.
Clock Tower. I finally got Clock Tower 2 on PlayStation, which is a rare. I have 1, 2, and 3. 3 is on PS2. Did they make it for Super Nintendo, right? They have a Clock Tower SNES. I thought they had original Clock Tower for SNES. It was like weird, and that might have been a homebrew or like a hack of some sort.
You got in at the right time with those games.
The horror games, right? I always bring that up when I'm talking to people about collecting. I was always into horror games anyway, and the way that I collect, and it's always been this way, is, and you know this, I go through phases. Remember when I went through the fighting game phase?
Oh, yeah.
That was crazy. I was like, I went to the owner, remember Brad? I was like, I want to just buy fighting games, and I have this book. Remember I had the CD book? And I said I want to fill up this entire book complete, because if it's CD-based, it's got to be complete. All fighting games. And maybe 3 or 4 months in, I probably had 60 fighting games. All the Marvel verses, all that shit, but more importantly, I had like random SNK anthology of all these fighters, and there's I forgot what it was called, Coliseum of fighters and shit. There's a lot of collaborations or collection fighting games, so I did the same thing with horror games, where I was like, I want to buy every good horror game that I can get my hands on. I am missing 2 big boys, which is Rule of Rose. And what's the other one? Kun? It's something like that. It's Kune, I think it is. It's on PlayStation, PS2. It's an expensive. It's pretty rare, yeah. But I have Haunting Ground.
Oh.
But people talk shit about that game as far as the quality of the game. I think it's a joke to some people. I don't know. It's pretty obscure, pretty rare. I think it was made in lower numbers. It's Capcom. But what other great... Nightmare Creatures.
Oh.
Dino Crisis. That's a good one. See, Dino Crisis could be considered in the horror genre, right?
Yeah.
Survival horror.
Yeah.
Right? It's Resident Evil with dinosaurs is what people say.
What about Echo Knight?
I was just going to... That's weird that you said that. I actually have that game, and I have it disc only, and I've had it randomly forever. That's a really cool game. It's something I rediscover every once in a while, and I'll just fucking put it on. Let me see. Any other good horror games that we're missing? I mean, there's plenty, but like Obscure, Fatal Frame, Manhunt.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like Eternal Darkness. Do you have that one?
I think... No, I have. I was thinking of Alone in the Dark or something I have on Dreamcast. Eternal Darkness. That's a PS2 game, right? I could
GameCube.
Oh, I could see the font, though. Is it like written in white? It's like the long E. I just feel like I know that. GameCube, man, yo. GameCube has some really good... Like, yo, Resident Evil Nemesis is on GameCube.
Oh.
It's a good port, right? I think it's... All the Resident Evils on GameCube are good. They're not really anything, but once they've remastered them or whatever. But yeah, horror games are great. Horror games are the shit. I wish they made a good Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. They have it on Atari, and it's absolutely disgusting. Unplayable. It's like a green... It's just stupid.
That's cool they made it, though.
Yeah, they licensed the fuck out of everything back in the day. Atari especially, but Atari I never got into. I actually had a 2600 for a while. Atari never did it for me, man. That was a little... I'm born in 84. I'm like 97 Hove. I have to say that. Shout out Benny the Butcher. But I was born... Like, when did what do you call it come out? Atari.
Damn.
Late 70s, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, late 70s. By the way, what do you... Oktoberfest, like always. I don't know why I ask. I got the Vino. You know what Vino is, right? Italian, it's wine, Vino.
Oh.
Red wine. I've said for a long time I don't like to drink red wine on the show because it makes my lips and teeth fucked up, but God bless.
Damn. Yo, what about...
Yeah, give me another topic.
E.T.?
Oh, the burial of E.T. That was a really interesting documentary.
That's kind of scary.
I've always heard about that story, and the story is, if you guys don't know, I don't know how long ago it was, but when E.T. came out, this is for the Atari, it came out, and it flopped, and it was found out that it had I think it had an unplayable flaw in the game. If I'm not mistaken, something was off where you kept falling down a pit or something. So the game failed, and then the CEO basically told the distributors or whatever, I don't care what you do with the games, bury them in a ditch in the desert for all I care. And sure as shit, that's what someone said happened. It was a myth for years, but somebody financed digging a hole where they thought it might be in a landfill. I think it was in Nevada, right? I think it was. This was a documentary on Netflix a few years ago. They found that first sealed box? It was like a crushed box, but it was E.T. They're like, what are the chances there's an E.T. game buried in the middle of the... Sure as shit, they dug it up again. A whole pallet sealed. So they really buried all those fucking games. Now, I don't know what the end result was. That guy paid a lot of money to dig that fucking hole. I guess he just wanted to know. But that was pretty awesome.
So it's not just people buried in the desert. It's also games.
There's games out there. There's fucking E.T. There might be actual aliens buried in the desert too. Oh, by the way, came and went. Nobody went to Area 51. I know this is old news and no one cares, but speaking of aliens, like what happened? Nothing, right?
Well, people showed up and then the guards were there.
Grand Theft Auto?
AR rifles and shit.
5-star instantly. I learned my lesson when I played GTA. You never go by Area 51. What was that? San Andreas, right?
Yeah.
If you go near it, yeah, you get fucked.
Even if you fly over it.
Yeah. Well, that would be in real life too. If you flew a plane or a drone in there, they would just shoot that shit down, bro. They're not playing over there. I watched a recent Joe Rogan episode with that Navy pilot that was talking about the aliens. Did you see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's the shit. I love when Joe Rogan gets into the alien shit, bro. It's just so good. It's so fun. It's cool because you don't... Man, as I get older, like I go through these phases of like, I'm super into aliens. I believe it like a motherfucker. And then I'm like, yeah, probably not. But then I'm like, logically, there has to be life out there. Am I right? Like, you believe in aliens?
Oh, yeah. I've seen some crazy
Yeah,
shit.
we've talked about that. You've seen weird shit. I've seen weird shit when I moved here. whatever. I mean, they probably exist. I mean, you're probably an alien. You would fit the perfect description of an alien.
Yo, in Peru, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, Machu Picchu, right? They do all
They
kinds.
see them all the time over there. They just can't do nothing.
You know what it is? I know you don't want to talk about it. It's the light in the woods. You know what I'm talking about. I'm sure your grandparents or someone told you that there's a light in the woods in Peru. There's an orb that people see, and a lot of people go into the woods to like find out what it is, and they never come out. Blair Witch shit. Anyway, this is getting sketchy. Give me a topic.
Yo, it is Halloween though.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I fuck with this. Do you fuck with pumpkin beer?
No, I'm not. Yeah, well, that's now Oktoberfest has what? Some kind of pumpkin spice in it or something?
Yeah, it's based off pumpkins.
Is it? Okay. I don't like pumpkin anything. I don't drink coffee. That's a fun fact about me. I've never had a cup of coffee in my entire life. But I know a lot of the now you get the pumpkin spice, lattes and all that shit. I'm not into pumpkin pie. I don't even generally like pumpkins the way they look. I like Smashing Pumpkins. We were just talking about it. 1979. I fuck with that. I like Billy Corgan and shit. He's a weirdo. I like weirdos. It's no big deal. But anyway, no. Pumpkin, I'm not really into pumpkin anything, but I know this time of year it goes ham, so God bless. All right, another topic.
All right, so this one's pretty cool. VHS comeback topic.
Yeah, I'm loosely involved in VHS collecting now, only because I found a good, what we call a honey hole in that thrift store where they're $1 a tape, and I swear to God, the ones I find are in mint condition, and if it's an iconic, nostalgic movie for me, I gotta buy it. So I still am curious about what's going on with that Fantasia, the Disney Fantasia, the masterpiece one. I still can't get an accurate value on it. eBay is eBay, and the pricing is all over the place because there are ones that sell for $200 to $300, and there are ones that sell for $7 or $8. And just like games, maybe it's black label, green label, maybe it's a variant. As far as the information that I've looked, I've matched up numbers and markings on the tape. It looks like the one that's worth a lot of money. And the one I have is brand new, like it's that crispy ass clamshell. It's got registration cards from Disney. I'm not an expert. I would call myself an expert in retro video games. I can't say the same for VHS tapes. And I know that there's those Diamond series Disney movies that it looks like that we all had growing up, but it's just like one thing that's different. They're like $40,000. I'm not paying $40,000 for a VHS tape. And I think VHS tapes, they delete themselves after a while, like anything old media. Apparently CDs do that too. I don't know. I'm willing to, like, a lot of people have talked to me about disc rot. They try to say, yo, is like disc rot a thing for you? I'm like, no. And the other thing is people, I'm not going to say people got on my case about, but I definitely was criticized early on when I shared some of my cleaning techniques on the other older podcast about, it's something my dad put me onto, and I believe in it because I've been doing it for years and it's never fucked with it. Disclaimer, if you do this and it fucks up, I don't give a fuck, A, and B, it's not because I told you to do it, so don't blame me. Don't send me your bill or an invoice for a rare game you tried to clean. Fuck you. Here's the deal. A disc is a piece of plastic. You know what I do to clean discs? If I get a disc from a thrift store or something, aside from the normal just wipe it on your shirt or something, a little bit of dish soap, I take it in my sink. I put some soap on the disc, and in a round motion, I just run the water over it. And with my fingers, whatever, I rinse it off with warm water. And when I dry it with the towel, I make sure I do it in the same direction. You don't go across the disc, but you hold the towel and just spin it. Dry it off. 10 out of 10.
That's like the Dawn commercial.
Yeah. Where they save the little ducks that have the oil on them and shit. Yeah, I'm saving discs. Okay. And they work. I swear to God, I've never, ever taken a disc. I put it in the PS2. We all know the thing where it sits there forever. And then it just goes back to the disc screen. It doesn't read it. It's supposed to come up with the PS2. No. Do it with the fucking Dawn dish soap. Works every time. Just like, what's the other best cleaner? Vinegar. A lot of people will tell you on your cartridges, don't use like a solvent, like acidic or solvent-based stuff. Liquids, any liquids on boards are bad. I'm like, dude, everyone might be 100% right. In my opinion, in my experience, in 15 years plus of doing this, take a fucking Q-tip, dip it in a thing of vinegar, rub that shit over the boards, put it in 10 out of 10. How many times have we done that in this room? Where something doesn't work, we go, vinegar, done. Anyway, another topic.
Yo, you got that Mario Kart to work, right?
Yeah, that was dead. That was dead in the water. Everyone told me, shut it down. It's over. Pull the plug on it. Kevorkian suicide. It's over. No way. Vinegar works. I'm going to get that on a t-shirt, by the way. Vinegar works. Next topic.
All right, modders.
I don't have a problem with people that mod stuff. I just don't mod stuff. I do have a couple of handhelds. One of them, which is item of the day, coming up. I would like to mod only because, some of them need to be recapped, meaning the capacitors are dying in them. That affects video and audio quality. People that do the SCART conversions or people that do RGB mods, they're cool. They get a little pricey. That's my only thing, and I don't know because I don't do it. But, man, it seems expensive to pay $300, $400, $500 for a top loader SNES or NES that has an RGB conversion to it. I don't know. It's not something I'm super into. I do know a couple people online that do mods, and they do a really good job at it. That's the other thing. You got to know what you're doing. You got to use the right parts. And then hopefully the insides don't fucking fry out in whatever amount of time. Me personally, I keep most of my shit stock, clean, good running order. God bless.
Yo, I was really close to spending $400 with a GameCube with HDMI.
That really made me upset. Oh no, you know what I was thinking of? The RGB cable, that's $300. You were actually talking about converting it to HDMI, but now they have that company that has all those cables to HDMI for $30 and they work great. So
yeah, but the other cables are official.
No, not HDMI. The RGB is official. They don't make an HDMI.
But that pisses you off?
Because I didn't understand why a third party wouldn't make a cable for fucking $10. Come to find out, there's proprietary braiding inside the cable for Nintendo use only. Excuse me. So you couldn't just get a generic GameCube AV out, which is proprietary, to RGB because they didn't make it. It was only by Nintendo. And what are they going for now? Are they more than what they used to be? Because I remember they were $150. They're more. They're $200-$300 now. Jesus. Don't ever buy one of those people. Just don't do it. I know, you want to get stupid and collect dumb shit. All right, whatever. Just buy the HDMI converter. Unless I'm wrong, I think the HDMI converter probably work better. A little higher resolution, maybe. Because the other one maxes out at 720. But I don't think the GameCube has any 1080p games. Maybe they have a few, just like Xbox. Had to learn that the hard way. It's all good, though. All right, motherfuckers. You know what time it is. It's item of the day. Today, TurboGrafx Express. This is something that was on my list for a long time as a grail of mine, as a handheld. If you're familiar with TurboGrafx 16, that was a system that came out. Really good system. It was in the early 90s. To me, had some really great titles. One of my favorite titles is Bloody Wolf, which is like an army game. I love that shit. You love, what do you like on it? Dragoon Spirit?
Oh, yeah.
It's a pretty solid game. There's some really good, of course, Splatterhouse is one of the best games. Now, this is the handheld version. There's, of course, a TurboGrafx 16 system. They use what they call the Hue card slot. It looks like a fucking... Go get me a game real quick, Doyle. Don't knock anything over and break anything. You know where they are. They're behind the Game Boy. Just give me one game so I could just show people how it goes in there. Give me Bloody Wolf, aren't you? I feel it. Yep. Let me see this shit. Thank you. So these are the games. They look like little cards. They're fucking kind of strange, but you know what? You put these shits in the back, you flip them over, and you put them in the right way. But you know what? My thing about this is it has an AV out on this side to the TV, which another reason why, hey, Nintendo Switch didn't do it first, motherfucker. Graphics was doing it. Sega Nomad was doing it. But this thing is something that is more of a collector's piece than something I'm going to use all the time, and that's really unlike me. Because when I buy shit, all my shit is used consistently. The problem is I sold my TurboGrafx collection, what was that, 2 years ago? Maybe it was longer than that. And I regret it. I always say, I had a Sega Master System collection, all the solid games. I got like Alf and all that, gone. Didn't care. I cared when I sold that TurboGrafx. We played that a lot. I did that as a favor to the owner of the game store because he really had a guy that wanted one and he was buying a big lot. He returned the favor though. He gave me that Mega Man X4 Sega Saturn for the super low because I did him the favor. That game's going for chunks now. I got that game for like $50, like something stupid.
I think that game's going more for than the TurboGrafx right now.
Oh, I know. Then the whole system. But this thing is pricey. And it's because it's obscure. And once again, I like my obscure, weird shit. This is definitely that. The condition of this is really good, but it's not something that I use all the time. It's kind of a novelty. It's kind of a display piece, which, like I said, is unlike my style. My style is function. Everything that I have in this room is ready to go, hooked up. You hit a button, you play it because it's played almost daily. This is kind of something that sits in the middle of the table. It looks cool. It's a conversation piece. I love handhelds though. You're a handheld guy.
Oh yeah.
You're a Nintendo handheld guy. You're a big Game Boy guy.
Yo, speaking of Game Boy, actually, you hit it right on the head because the Analog Pocket is gonna be like the new Game Boy.
I saw
That's
that
sick.
today on Analog's Analog, who make really nice high-end, like what's the Analog called? The Analog NES. I think it's an NES and an SNES that they've made. Really beautiful system. Really good materials. They have HDMI out. The boards are better. Like, it's just really high quality. But now they're getting into a handheld. Now explain that to me. Is that what it is? Is it just a high-end Game Boy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right about the NES. It says NT Mini.
NT Mini.
Yeah, and yeah, the Game Boy is high end. Like the screen looks amazing, but then you can also connect it to the TV.
Oh, so it, just like this, it's got the AV out.
But it looks great.
But do you know, like, just so you know, so you're not surprised, I don't know if they listed it, they're pricey. I mean, I can't speak on that particular unit. Their console systems are $500-$600.
This one says it's 200.
Well, okay, but that's still pricey. I mean, if you think about it, it's a Game Boy. Now, does it play Game Boy Color and Advance or only OG Game Boy?
I only see OG Game
That's
Boy.
what I saw too. So 200 bones. Oh, but it's a color screen. It's a full color screen.
Exactly.
But that wouldn't make sense. Why would they do OG Game Boy with a color screen when Game Boy isn't color, even though it's got the little upconvert with the Game Boy Color? You know, certain games have the little reds or something.
Yeah, they sometimes they add the little.
But this is a
colors to it.
full color screen, so I would assume they would still have to play Game Boy Color games.
Oh, it also plays Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance cartridges.
Oh, that's nice. Yo, Game Boy Advance is a great handheld, especially the SP, the 101, AGS 101, which has the backlight screen. Game Boy Advance. You know that. I mean, I love that shit. That is Castlevania. I mean, there's so many good games. Doom.
They're going for like $150 now.
No, they're not.
The 101s?
No, they're not. Are you fucking serious? Or are you just fucking with me?
No, that's how much people like ask for. You know, people are paying like $100-$120.
Wow. Yo, mine is crispy.
But only the 101s.
Yeah, and that's the thing, guys. If you're buying a Game Boy Advance, get the 101 model. It's got a brighter screen. When you hit the button, you can level it up. Probably, I would say it's a solid 20-25% brighter. It makes a difference. The battery life on that thing is unreal. Bro, honestly, whatever they power the battery of that thing with, they need to put it in fucking spaceships and cars. Dude, that thing will sit there for months and months and months, no problem. I'll pop it in. Not even like it's going dead. Nope, full green, no problem. I don't know how they do it. Nintendo. See, I like Nintendo's handheld game is ridiculous. Now, I got out at the DS. You like the DS and above.
DS, 3DS is good.
Yeah, you like the 3DS. I just didn't like the games. I don't like the interface. That has a great battery life as well. I noticed that.
Yeah.
All right, give me another topic.
All right, so we got thoughts on Shriek rumors for Venom 2.
I have no idea what the fuck you just said.
Shriek or Scream? I think they need. I think they're talking about Scream.
Or does it say Shrek? Does it say Shrek like the movie Shrek? Or Shriek?
No.
Is it Shrek?
We'll just move on. All right,
Yeah,
new
what the
PS5 design and tech specs.
Oh, so here's the thing. Because that stupid, I don't know what to call the way that they have it looking right now, the PS5. The development kit. See, that's the key. Because I was getting nervous. Because you know me, I'm like, that thing looks like some weird toaster had sex with a hairdryer in 2001. And that's the development console, bro. That's not what's going to look like at the end. That if you could look at dev kits throughout the history of gaming, you could look at the GameCube which was the Dolphin or the even the Dreamcast. It was this giant computer tower. But the Dreamcast when it comes out looks like that. So PS5 is not going to look like that. That's just the development kit that the developers are using to make it in studio, in house. That's not what the final product's gonna look like. So, thank God.
You don't like the design?
You really like that thing? It looks cheap. It looks like something made. It looks like a VTech. You know what VTech, like those cheap kid toys? That's what it looks like. Like my first computer. It can't be. This is a $600 state of the art in the year 2020, 2021. Nah. So, come to find out, it's a development kit. Thank God. Go ahead.
All right, wrestling games for N64.
Oh my God. WCW NWO Revenge? Are you joking? That's the best game ever made. I don't care. I think you're a fan of WrestleMania 2000. That's yours?
Yeah, they're almost the same thing though.
I know one of them's WCW, the other's WrestleMania. But dude, Goldberg, and remember, what do they call him in the game?
Was it Steve?
Yeah, Steve. Why is his name Steve? I think the guy that had the game before just hacked it or just renamed everybody, because I remember getting it at, like, that's something that's like a $5 game. It's not rare. But I bought it, and I'm like, I can't wait to go home, play this. I can't wait to and I couldn't find Goldberg. I'm looking for Goldberg. It always said Goldberg spelled out. And then as I'm going through, I'm going, Steve? And his name is Steve Goldberg, but who the fuck calls Goldberg Steve? It was Steve. But he made some other weird, because you can make custom wrestlers in that game.
Yeah.
But the replayability of that game is just, it's the best. To me, it's the best. I mean, I've been playing that game for 20-something years. I just pop it in, no problems. It's beautiful. So,
remember the cage matches?
Oh my God, bro. Dude, oh no, that's in SmackDown. You're talking about SmackDown 2. Remember you and Duncan played SmackDown 2?
One, yeah.
That was crazy, bro. Wait, did they have cage matches in that? In WCW NWO Revenge?
I think cage matches. Yeah.
They have that? Okay. I like the WWF arcade game. Shawn Michaels. I love that shit. That, to me, that's super fun. Now, the home console versions aren't so great compared to the arcade. Not that the arcade is amazing, but that would be a really dope arcade to have. I wonder if Arcade 1UP will release the like a WWF game. And it's not WWE. I'm tired of this shit. I fuck with WWF. Fuck that Wildlife Foundation that fucked them on that. I think that's what happened.
And that's for the animals.
Yeah, I know. But wrestling's more important than animals, Doyle. I'm going to get a lot of hate for that in the comments now. Yeah, people that love pandas and shit. By the way, I have a conspiracy about pandas. Should I tell people? Did I ever tell you about my conspiracy with pandas? Okay. Let me take a sip of my wine. It's time to sound a little crazy, but I'm feeling good today. Just give me a second.
Panda.
Yeah. Okay. I have a belief that pandas, every one of them, baby panda, medium panda, big panda, they're just people in panda suits. Look at a panda. I want someone to Google a panda right now and look at it. You're telling me that's not somebody in a suit? You can't tell the difference, bro. With a regular bear, you can tell it's a bear. But a panda just looks like somebody. Yeah, go ahead and Google panda on your phone and look at the first image that comes up. It's somebody in a fucking suit, bro. And they can have little pandas. They can have pandas that are like fucking little people. I don't want little people, and then they put them in a suit. If you put them in the fucking zoo, you would never tell.
So baby pandas are baby kids in suits.
Yeah, or somebody that might suffer from a vertically challenged. We live in such a PC world now. I don't want to say anything that's, you know what I mean? Now we have the format we're outputting the signal to the universe here. Anyway, that is my panda conspiracy. It does not go further than that. I haven't done any hard research because I have seen pandas fuck people up. You know, specifically people that go to zoos and they lean up against the gate to take a selfie and the panda just comes and just rips their jugular out. It still could be a person. They just happen to have well-equipped claws on that suit. High-quality shit. Probably Sideshow collectibles. All right, give me another topic before we get way too off the rails here.
All right, concert memories.
Oh, man. That's a good one. I didn't even see that in the suggestions. I will say this. The best concert I ever went to in my life, and I've been to a lot of concerts. I grew up, my whole family's into music, and, I went to a Green Day concert. And Green Day is one of my favorite bands. Dookie is one of my favorite albums. Yes, I'm a super duper duper hip hop head, but growing up in the 90s, Dookie came out. It struck a chord with me. It was exactly it was just, I mean, I don't have to explain that album to anybody who was in that time. Even now, it's culturally just incredible. But so from there, I was a fan. Am I a fan of their later stuff as much? Not really. But less than a month after 9/11 happened, or right around a month, I went to a concert at Giant Stadium, Green Day. I don't even think there was any, there might have been one other opening act, but it was a Green Day concert. It was packed, 50,000 people. Me, my boy, and two chicks, we went there. And first of all, just the ride there was crazy. I got hammered. So the two girls were driving in the front seat. Me and my boy are in the back. I don't drink any clear liquor. This is one of the reasons I don't. I drink brown liquor, if that, or I drink wine or beer. I'm more of a wine guy now. We drank almost a full bottle of Bacardi, like the big one with the handle, on the way there, like on the Jersey Turnpike, just like, woo! I was making them pull over on the fucking turnpike so I can piss. I was pissing off the bridge, like in the middle of traffic. But this is how hammered I was. We're not even at the concert, bro. Luckily, by the grace of God, sobered up enough that I was like good to go to a concert. Like I was still feeling good, but I wasn't puke drunk or anything. So we went to this concert. We had great seats. And I've been to Wu-Tang concerts. I've been to, and you know me, Wu-Tang Financial, diversify your bonds. Shout out my boy Rappin' and Snackin'. His boy, Rappin' and Snackin' on Instagram, by the way. His boy hooked me up with this hoodie a long time ago. Shout out my boy. That's a unbelievable hip-hop page. Rappin' and Snackin'. It's exactly what you think. It's food, hip-hop. It's mostly hip-hop. That man has an incredible collection of music. Anyway, we get to the concert. I'm watching the concert. It's fucking phenomenal. It gets to the point where they're playing, like, they go through Dookie and all this shit. Then they call up Billy Joe's like, who out there can play the guitar? Like, they're just like doing an intermission. And then, like, you know, they pick someone out of the audience. This kid comes up and jams out on Billy Joe's fucking guitar. Just crazy, bro. And Billy Joe's singing, and fucking they play fucking, what was it, Longview. And then they were playing all their hits, right? But there was just, they got into the 9/11 shit. And it was just like, you never felt an energy in that. Because everyone knew, like, this ridiculous tragedy just happened, but it brought all these people to, bro, there was races, color, creed, religion in that building that you've never seen, the diversification of just, and everybody was one. Bro, it almost makes me want to cry thinking about it, bro. It was so, it was 2001. And it must have been fucking October. The weather was perfect, open air. That was seriously, and you know what sucks? Something like 9/11 happened. The best thing that happened about 9/11, right after, everybody was cool with everybody. You could walk around New York City. Unfortunately, there was the initial grouping of ignorant people beating up people in turbans and shit, just being stupid. But there was a level of unity in the country, especially in New York and shit. And I know the tragedy happened Pennsylvania and the White House, but in New York, bro, all the way out to me, I lived in Long Island, but from the city to Long Island, just going to the stores the next few weeks or months, there was never such a unity in this country. And it sucks that it takes that, but you know what? Faded away. We're worse than ever now with this shit. And when all of a sudden, God forbid, something like that happens again, then we all huddle up and we're humans. It's like, the joke is always, if the aliens come, we'll realize we're all the same real quick, right? And it's not going to be black and white and all this shit. It's like, yo, we're just humans and that's aliens. So, and that's the kind of thing, it's kind of weird, but that was a good question. That concert was incredible. We got time for another quick one? What we got?
Yeah. All right, so this one's collecting games versus playing games.
Yeah, that's something that I don't want to say an issue with, but like my whole thing is I'm not into people that I call shelf collectors, people that only buy shit to leave on shelves and don't play it. I take a lot of pride in that. I'm putting a lot of cartridges in for a long time, fucking years and years. I'm playing shit every single day. Now here's the deal. That's just my opinion. You can collect what you like. You could buy shit and put it in a storage bin and leave it in a garage for all I care. Let it accrue value and flip it. I am one of those people that am super active. I love video games to death, and if you're going to spend the money on these games, I feel like you should play them. That's why I'm not into sealed. I have the one sealed Wu-Tang game. We're going to get into that story soon. I've had a lot of people hit me up to say, now that the podcast is kind of rejuvenated with the visuals. Can you go back in story time with Uncle Mike, give us the stories about Raekwon and all this other shit, and that being sealed is the special. There's a reason why it's sealed and all that, and I'll get into that at a different time. But yes, if you're gonna collect video games, my preference is you got to play those motherfuckers, not just leave them on your shelf. And if you want to do that, that's fine. But yeah. All right, I think that's enough topics for the day. I feel good about the show. And hit us up on Instagram at Retro and Rare Podcast. Until next time, peace.